Hello everybody, welcome to les tutos de Huito. Bienvenue sur ma chaîne, cette chaîne qui vous remet à l'anglais. Si jamais vous avez eu cette drôle d'idée, vous êtes au bon endroit. Je m'appelle Huito et je suis votre prof d'anglais préféré, j'espère. En tout cas, aujourd'hui, je vais répondre à une question qui m'est souvent posée quand je rencontre des gens ou des abonnés comme ça. Ils me demandent souvent, mais c'est quoi ton mot préféré ? Très difficile à répondre à cette question. Et là, je me suis dit que j'allais réfléchir un petit peu et que j'allais vous faire une sélection des 10 mots que je trouve particulièrement beaux. Alors, ne cherchez pas à savoir pourquoi, c'est pas forcément des mots très courants, ou c'est même des mots un peu farfelus parfois, mais c'est des mots qui sonnent bien, ou juste des mots que j'aime bien, tout simplement. Donc voilà, mon top 10 des 10 mots préférés en anglais. Let's go! Let's start with number 10. It's a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, number 10 is an adjective that you may know. It's very common. This adjective is huge. I think it sounds really good. And it sounds big. Huge. Okay? Huge means massive, very big, extremely large, okay? Something really important. I am a huge fan. Or I made a huge mistake, which means a very, very big error, a big mistake. Okay, so huge is my number 10.
We've had teams down there. It's a huge network.
And a huge Duke is too simple.
Most of us agree, Al, the risks are huge.
Coming up, number 9. Number 9 is the word lull. Lull. Can you repeat after me? Lull. L-U-L-L. Lull. A lull is a temporary moment of quiet. Okay? It's when there is no activity before something happens. Okay? So it's a moment of quiet, a moment of calm. You know, in French, sometimes we say c'est le calme avant la tempête. Well, it's exactly the same in English. We say it's just a lull before the storm. Just a lull before the storm. Okay, so it's usually a lack of activity, something very quiet before something bigger happens. And by the way, the verb lull might remind you of a noun, lullaby. So to lull is to gently put someone to sleep. For example, like a baby, you would rock the baby a bit gently, like try to put the baby to sleep, especially with a soothing voice, okay? So it's a moment of peace. Before the baby wakes up and starts crying.
So when are we seeing him again? Oh, we're not.
What? Why?
Everything was going great until the drive home. There was a lull in the conversation, and all of a sudden I just hear... There was a lull in the conversation.
Number 8 is an adjective again, and it's really close to French. And I think in English it sounds really smart. So this word is picturesque. So something picturesque is something visually very attractive, very pleasing to the eye. So it basically means beautiful. For example, a landscape. Let's say you're on holidays in the south of France and you see a beautiful landscape and you could say, oh, this is very picturesque. Or if you go to a small village that has a certain atmosphere, so a village that could be very charming, you see? So you could say, oh, that's a very picturesque village. I remember one specific village that I visited last June in the south of England, in Cornwall. So we could say that it's a very pretty town with a picturesque harbor and very well preserved buildings. I'll show you a picture. This is a picture that I took when I was in Port Peru. And maybe another one. Look at that. That's absolutely picturesque. Very, very pleasing to the eye.
Very picturesque, but hardly a lake.
Just a picturesque backdrop.
If you want to be picturesque about it.
Too picturesque.
It's rather picturesque, don't you think?
Number 7, quirky. Quirky, what does that mean? Quirky, Q-U-I-R-K-Y, quirky. Quirky means extravagant, a bit eccentric, a bit different, you know, a bit strange, odd. Someone can be quirky, or you can have a quirky behavior. It means that you're not behaving like everybody else, and so you're acting a bit strangely, but people may find this a bit attractive. I don't know if I'm being very clear here. Let me give you an example. You could say, oh, I quite like his quirky manners. I quite like his quirky sense of humor. He has a different sense of humor. He's a bit eccentric. Might be over the top, but still you kind of like it. So quirky. So I guess you could say it's a synonym of unconventional, or perhaps peculiar. Okay, it's weird, strange, but in a cool way.
Her quirky sense of humor.
Whose?
God's.
Oh, I'm sorry, quirky. Because he's a fucking pocket watch.
The studio said they feel that it's a modern, quirky choice.
Oh, what?
And sometimes he went beyond quirky.
Next one. Next one is a bit difficult. The word is excruciating. Excruciating. Oh my god, this is very advanced. When something is excruciating, it means very intense, extremely intense. To the point that you can't stand it, you can't bear it, okay? It's too much. So imagine, yesterday I fell off my bike. I was riding my bike and I fell off my bike. So I was in excruciating pain. And my leg just wouldn't move, okay? So excruciating is extremely high, extremely intense.
I hope you're in excruciating pain.
This is excruciating.
Yeah, 63 minutes of excruciating boredom.
Yes, I would.
Please, I'm in excruciating pain.
But certainly exhausted from what must have been an excruciating ordeal.
Okay, number 5. Oh, number 5. It sounds so good. Let me just give it to you. Serendipity. Serendipity. How many syllables are there? Serendipity. 5 syllables. Serendipity. Can you repeat? Serendipity. What's that? Serendipity. Serendipity is, it's quite difficult to explain. It's when you discover something valuable, something very interesting, but you discover this by chance, by accident. You were not expecting this to happen. You were not searching for anything, but it just happened by chance, and it's very positive. So let me give you an example. 10 years ago, I was walking in the street and I found $10. I took the $10 and I went immediately to the casino. When I got there, I met a girl at the bar. So she was there, she was gorgeous. And we immediately hit it off. So we had a drink, and then I said to her, why don't we go gambling? I found $10. Let's gamble. And guess what? We won $10,000. 6 months after that, we got married. Yes, we got married. And 10 years later, we are still in love. So call it serendipity. It has been serendipity all the way. Everything happened by accident, but ended up very positively.
It is with lucrative serendipity, or perhaps just good branding, that MySpace is so cool.
Call it serendipity.
Serendipity.
Number four. Number 4 sounds so cool. It's a little bit old-fashioned, but it's... Oh, I love this word. This word is shenanigans. Shenanigans. Can you repeat? Shenanigans. So what is shenanigans, or what are shenanigans? It's always plural, okay? Always an S. Shenanigans. So what is shenanigans? Well, it's an activity, it's a secret activity. Something that is not very honest. So it's a dishonest, secret activity that takes place behind people's backs. So it's some sort of fishy actions that people take, and sometimes shenanigans make other people laugh. It's kind of it can be funny at times. In French, you could say des manigances, okay, or des magouilles. All right, shenanigans. Imagine you see two people there, two young people, and you go, "Ooh, what are you up to, guys? No shenanigans here, okay? There's shenanigans in the air. I can smell it. Shenanigans."
Fucking shenanigans.
In fact, after all of your shenanigans, it's going to be hard for me to ever go to the hitching post again.
Evil shenanigans.
Whatever shenanigans you've been up to, Bruno, it's gotta stop right this minute.
You must tell me if there are any shenanigans whatsoever.
Okay, now number 3. Number 3, gibberish. When you talk gibberish, you talk nonsense. What you say doesn't make sense to other people. It really means that when you talk gibberish, people don't understand you. Maybe because you're too excited, maybe because you're too nervous, you go blah, 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 blah. You're not making yourself understood, okay? So that's pretty bad, but I think it sounds really good. Gibberish.
It's just gibberish to her.
What's that?
Even the priest knows. But I didn't find that out from your gibberish message.
But now they're just telling me gibberish.
You would be responding in gibberish.
Multiphasic transmissions overlapping. It's almost a gibberish.
Number 2, flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. Oh, English is a beautiful language. Flabbergasted. Can you guess what it means? Maybe not. It's pretty advanced. To be flabbergasted means to be shocked. When something happens to you, you're completely speechless. You're so shocked that words won't come out of your mouth. You're completely flabbergasted. Okay? When I heard the news, I was completely flabbergasted. Or I was flabbergasted.
I was flabbergasted, sir.
Not flabbergasted.
And at first, I was just flabbergasted. But then halfway through her testimony, it hit me.
I am flabbergasted. Kids start so early these days.
How dare you send stuff like this to us? I'm flabbergasted.
So, number 1, what is my favorite word in English? It was very difficult to choose, but I chose berserk. Berserk. What's that? Is this even English? Berserk. Berserk. To go berserk is to go wild, to become crazy. It means that you are really excited and you can't repress your emotions and you go completely berserk. You go completely crazy. You become wild. So imagine that you support your favorite football team and that they score a goal at the very last second, and then the crowd went berserk. Berserk. It means that the crowd erupted and everybody shouted and everybody jumped around, and so they all went berserk. Okay, so to go berserk means to become crazy with emotions and excitement.
Quite right, Jackal. A few pints of them, they could go berserk. They could go berserk.
Et voilà, mes 10 mots. Maintenant, à vous, dans les commentaires. Dites-moi quels sont les mots que vous aimez vraiment bien entendre en anglais. Mais pas la peine que ce soit des mots compliqués, ça peut être vraiment juste un mot simple parce qu'il sonne bien, parce que vous trouvez qu'il a je sais pas, qu'il a quelque chose de spécial. Alors j'aimerais bien que dans les commentaires vous me disiez, mettez éventuellement ce que ça veut dire, ou alors vous mettez une phrase d'exemple. Et peut-être que j'en referai une, parce qu'en fait, en vrai, les 10, j'ai choisi ces 10 là, mais il y en a des centaines que j'adore comme mots. Et je referai peut-être un épisode comme celui-là, parce que je me disais que ça faisait en même temps de vous faire apprendre du vocabulaire. Ça vous fait aussi entendre évidemment de l'anglais, un anglais qui est normalement suffisamment lent et avec beaucoup de gestes et d'images pour comprendre. Plus les extraits vidéo que j'ai rajoutés. Donc voilà, j'espère que ça vous a plu. Mettez un pouce bleu si c'est le cas. N'oubliez pas que mon livre, bientôt bilingue, est en vente partout, absolument partout sur internet et dans les librairies. N'hésitez pas à aller l'acheter. Et je vous dis à très bientôt dans un nouvel épisode de Tutos de Huito. Bye bye everybody, cheers.